What's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of No Swag Talks. I'm your host, David from No Swag. Make sure to check out No Swag Clothing on Instagram and at www.noswagclothing.com. Boom, 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 boom. Today I don't have a guest, it's just me, and I thought I'd share a story with all of you. This one being about an experience I had at a concert back in September of 2019, so just a couple months ago. What I thought would be a really great concert turned into like a pretty terrible experience for me. So let's go back to October 2019. So it was the Igor tour, Tyler the Creator. I had bought tickets months prior, pretty much as soon as they came out online. This was in Philly at the Mann Center, which is like an outdoor stage, almost like a festival setup. It was one of the only ones on that tour that was like outside. Most of the venues were like arenas or, kind of like smaller sized arenas during that tour. But this one was one of the few ones where it was outside, so I was really excited about that. I had just seen Tyler play Gov Ball a few months prior in the summer. It was his first festival performance of Igor and his second one ever. He had the Apple Music show that he did for it first, which was pretty cool, but Gov Ball was the first time to like a huge crowd, and this was like a few weeks I think after Igor came out, so it gave just enough time for everybody to kind of know the music. And that was a pretty great concert experience back at Gov Ball. I saw the Internet, Brockhampton, and a few other people before him on the same stage. I stayed at the same stage just so I could be up at the front row barricade that day. So I was front row. Tons of like notable people were there. I saw Clancy, Taco, obviously Sid. All these people kept walking past the barricade right in front of me to go back towards like the sound booth to watch the show. Kerwin Frost, who just interviewed Tyler and who I had been a fan of from his like Kanye West interviews, walked past and I said hi to him. Kendall Jenner walked past like twice, which like was like whoa, because I'd always joke about like, oh, one day I'm gonna meet Kendall Jenner, I'm gonna marry her. But that was really funny to see Kendall Jenner there. And the dude from the movie, what was his name? Oh, Ansel Elgort, whatever his name is. He's been in a few. He was in Baby Driver, I think it was called. He was there in the VIP watching. So there was a lot of like cool people there, and I even recognized people from the Gov Ball. I recognized people at the Mann Center who were at the Gov Ball show. There was this one girl there who brought a painting to Gov Ball that she wanted to give to Tyler, and I saw her on the other side of the barricade, and then when we were done with Gov Ball, all the way back in Manhattan, I saw her walking down the street with it, and then I saw her post about it on Twitter, and then I got to meet her at the Philly show. That was pretty cool. She ended up getting the picture to Tyler during the Philly show. But fast forward, October rolls around. I get out of... I skipped my Russian cultures class at school because I live about an hour out of Philly, so I had to drive in. So I skipped my Russian cultures class so I could get there really early. I was meeting up with my friend Johnny, who's a really big Tyler fan, and I've been to a few shows with him out in Philly. He's always at Tyler shows. I saw him at Anderson .Paak. He was at a Chance the Rapper show that I was at, but I didn't actually meet him there. But he's met pretty much like almost all like the major like artists kind of in Tyler's realm that you can think of. Like he's met Tyler before. He's met Childish Gambino. Like Chance the Rapper, Vince Staples, whole bunch of people he's met, and he's really good at like finding them after the show. So I was like, yo, you trying to meet Tyler after the show at the Mann Center? He's like, yeah, man, let's do it. And I was like, oh, I think like the gates for the back of the stage are here, so we should probably go here. And we were like, blah blah blah. So we had it all planned out. I got there at 10 a.m. I think doors were at like 5 or 6, sometime around there. So I was there at 10 a.m. There was a group of, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 people there when I got there. Johnny was up at the front, had a spot for me, and everyone in the line was super cool. Armani from Second Base Vintage out here in Easton was there, and I got to talk to him a lot. He's really cool. Shout out him. But basically, we stood in that line all day. It was really hot, but security was mad funny, and all the people there were pretty funny. And Johnny was dressed up in a full, like, not Tyler's Flames, but like a full flame jumpsuit, and he had the Igor wig on and glasses. So tons of people were taking pictures of him that whole day. So that was really funny. But and then a few hours into the line, a group of girls who I actually knew through my girlfriend and actually live in the same town or same general area I do came, and they talked to Johnny and kind of figured that they were going to join along with us, which in retrospect that was fine. That was totally cool of them. So then, yeah, the concert starts. They open the gates. We scan. The group of me, Johnny, and his friend, everyone pretty much just runs up this giant hill through this field to the stage. We all got there, got barricade spots, and we were like, cool, this is going to be a great concert. We're right up front, super close. So the first opener was Gold Link. His show was pretty okay. I didn't really know much of his music. I know a song he has with Steve Lacy. I know a little bit of the song he has with Tyler, and I've grown to like the really popular song I think is called "Crew" from him. That's a really catchy song. His set was all right. The sound wasn't very good. At the Mann Center, I feel like the openers always don't have very good sound. But his set was all right. It was like just really hyped the whole time. And right away, you could tell that crowd was going to be like super obnoxious. This was like my fifth time seeing Tyler. I've seen him I ran into him once at the Roots picnic with Pharrell. He was in front of me at the barricade. I didn't get to talk to him, but I saw him, which was really cool, like watching Pharrell. Second time was my first like actual concert was like the first leg of the Flower Boy tour, and that was in Lancaster, PA, at a really really small venue that I don't even know if they fit 1,000 people. It was called the Chameleon Club, which I think that's probably the smallest venue besides the one he did for the Flower Boy release back in New York, where Frank Ocean and A$AP Rocky came out. That was a really small venue, but besides that, I think that's the smallest venue he's played in like years. It was like really misplaced and in the middle of nowhere. Lancaster is like where all the Amish people are and everything. But I saw him there. That was a really small room, so the crowd seemed super obnoxious in that room, and like you had to kind of hold on, and people were like pulling at my shirt. It wasn't that bad, but that was a pretty crazy crowd just because the room was so small and really hot. And then the next time I saw him was in Philly for the second leg of the Flower Boy tour with Vince Staples and Taco doing the opening set. And that was where I first met Johnny, who this story links into. I met him and talked to him in the line there, and he's seen Frank Ocean, a lot of people, blah blah blah. But he went to meet Vince Staples at that show, and then yeah, that show at the Leah Kurris Center in Philly, which is Temple's like basketball stadium. That was a really really good show. I was pretty much barricade for that. I always start out barricade and then I get like moved to like second or third behind because people just like condense like super close together and you kind of get pushed away from it unless you have this death grip. And I'm usually like with girls, so I'm trying to like make sure they're not getting crushed, so I end up back farther. But that was a really great show. That one compared to like the Lancaster one was like a whole nother level. The stage design was really cool, all that. So yeah, that was a great concert. And then the next one was Gov Ball, which was like my favorite concert I've ever been to. It was just like so awesome. And then, yeah, Philly rolls around. So then Jaden Smith is the second opener in Philly for Tyler. And his set, again, is all right. He kept taking big breaks to, like, tell the crowd to calm down because literally every 5 seconds, I've never been to a concert like this. Every 5 seconds, I had to duck and help someone go over me because everyone was passing out. I've been to shows where people pass out or puke, but this one was like every 5 seconds. This crowd would not let up. I've never seen a crowd like this. But yeah, Jaden's set was all right. I don't really dig his music, but it was interesting to just see him. And then Tyler's set rolled around, and it was a pretty similar set list to what I had seen at GovBall. So like I wasn't like overly surprised by anything, but the stage design was really cool. But the whole entire show, I could not focus at all on what was going on. I got moved back from barricade. People were arguing, pushing, passing out. Security was yelling the whole time. And in the like towards the end of the concert, I had a gold ring on, like a $600 gold ring with diamonds in it. That was like my favorite ring. I'm really stupid for wearing it in the crowd, but I was like, oh, it fits fine. It's not gonna fall off. Some girl comes over me. She's ready to pass out, and she's like pretty heavy, and I'm lifting her over me, and my hand touches her back. Dogs are barking. But my hand touches her back. Whoa.
5 minutes later.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about the dogs barking and stuff. But as I was saying, this girl was over me. My hand touches her sweaty back, which feels like someone just poured a whole water bottle on it, or like oil or something. And my ring just goes right off my hand, falls into the crowd. Now, if this was a normal crowd, like even like maybe a halfway normal Tyler crowd, not this insane crowd, I would have been able to been like, yo, 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 and like went down and grabbed my ring. But there was not an inch to move where I was. And I feel like maybe if I wasn't at barricade, maybe if I was in the middle a little bit, there would be more movement and maybe mosh pits, but I wouldn't feel crushed the whole time like I did. That was the worst part, was like trying to not make my ribs like cave in on themselves. But my ring falls, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I already knew I was not going to get it back. It falls onto the ground. I'm like, okay, this is trash. Show goes on, finishes off. I'm like, whoo. All my friends are like, yo, I'm talking to them. Like Johnny, who's seen Tyler way more times than me, just because he's older and he's had the ability to. I'm slightly younger, so Flower Boy is really like my first time I got to go out and see him, even though I've been listening since like probably like few months after Wolf came out, maybe a year. I've known about him longer, but that was like really when I started listening. But I didn't get out to go to a show until like the first leg of the Flower Boy tour. But even Johnny was like, yeah, that crowd was terrible, like one of the worst I've ever been in. And he's even seen some of like the old shows, like I think even before Cherry Bomb tour. But yeah. So I'm like, okay, let's wait a few minutes. Let the crowd clear out a little bit, and give me like 10 minutes to try and look for my ring on the ground. So I'm looking. The whole entire ground, because we're outdoors, is just mud mixed in with like people's tank tops and smashed glasses. So I'm looking, shining my flashlights. Like people are trying to help me. Like I have like 5 people trying to help me, and like we cannot find it. I find like a Gucci ring, which I don't think was actual like real gold. And someone was like, "Yo, can I have that?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't care. I just want my ring." So I gave it to him. Yeah. Long story short, I couldn't find it. So I was super bummed out because one, I couldn't enjoy the concert, and I felt like I was just trying to protect like the people around me the whole time and myself from getting squished. And two, I had lost my ring. So I was like, okay, not a good concert experience, but we're gonna try and meet Tyler, and Johnny's a good luck charm. He meets pretty much everyone, and he's met Tyler before. So hopefully that'll all make up for it. So we walk out of the venue, we're chilling. Pretty much what you got to do is like wait like 40 minutes to an hour outside the venue before anyone's going to come out. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, but the main performer is usually like 40 to an hour. So we were just chilling. The group of girls was there too. side note, like when I first, like after this day happened, I was super like kind of salty and like not very like I didn't say very kind words about them, but I was just kind of speaking out of like disappointment and like inner jealousy. But yeah, side note. But we were waiting around the cars, and it was my car and Johnny's car. Now Johnny had his friend, and I was like, okay, should we just drive one of our cars? Because this is like a really wide, spread out venue. So I thought behind the stage, since this is an outdoor venue, there's a whole bunch of gates. I already knew that from like Google Street View. I was like, okay, they probably like pull in to those gates with their buses. Yeah, no. Or at least the artists hang out there after the show. So I was like, all right, so we got to drive up to these gates. Should I just get in your car? Should we drive separately? Um, and at first I was like, yeah, I'll just go in your car. And then this group of girls needed rides too, so I was like, all right, I'll take my car. And I took one of their friends who was a guy. One of the girls' group of friends uh, was a guy, and I had to drive him home later because he lived in the same town. So I took him and me in my car, and the group of girls and Johnny's friend all went up in their car. So we both get up there. We like park at this like pavilion that's kind of down the road from it, and we all walk up. We see them like packing up the trucks full of like the stage stuff and whatnot. And there's a security guard sitting there, and we walk up, or I think Johnny's the only one who like actually walked up to the guard, but it looked pretty cleared out. And he was like, "Yo, do you think Tyler's still around? Like we're trying to meet him." And the guard was like, "Nah, I'm pretty sure Tyler's gone. Like he had to catch a flight to go to like an event after this." Um, and we were like, "Oh man." We're like, "Okay, I guess we're not meeting Tyler today." So yeah, and to add on to this, as we were driving up the road to get to the like back of the stage, there's like another building that's like way like towards almost where the gates are to enter. There's a big building, and we drove past on the side of it. We did see a whole bunch of buses, but there were like 20 of them. Like it seemed like there was like 20 of these buses. So we were like, "Oh, like I doubt that's like all tour buses." But we did see one pull out, so we're like, "Oh, that easily could have been Tyler or like Gold Link or one of the openers." So we're like, "Oh, okay, maybe that's them." But if it is, they probably already left if the bus is already leaving. So after the security guard way in the back tells us no, since we're in different cars, I'm like, "Yeah, I guess that's it. Hopefully next time we can meet him." And everybody's kind of like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, peace out. See ya." So I take me and this guy that I had to drive home. We drive down the back road to get back on the highway. And since Johnny had this group of girls with him, he drove back down towards the front near where the gates are and where those buses were. And he kind of drops. He's like ready to drop them off, and apparently like he's like, "Okay, let's just take like one final like, let's just try this exit just in this area of the venue just in case, like who knows, like someone could still be there." So this is all like at this point, this is all from like what I can remember him telling me. But he walks up around the venue. I think the girls are maybe trailing behind him or with him, I don't know. But he walks up around the side of the venue. There's a security guard there, and he's like, "Yo, what are you?" The security guard's to Johnny. He's like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And I think like Johnny like felt scared or something because he thought he was like gonna get in trouble or something. And then the security guard goes to him and he's like, "Were you in the front row like dressed as like with the wig on today?" And Johnny's like, "Yeah." And then don't quote me exactly like on the sequence of these events. I might be a little off. This is what I remember. So the security guard like goes on his like walkie-talkie or whatever, and he's like talking to someone. And Johnny hears the person on the other end, and it's Tyler on the other end. And then the security guard gets off and he goes, "Tyler wants to meet you." Because Tyler saw him in the front row, and Tyler's friend had a Goblin CD, and at that point, like, I think he was probably Johnny was probably one of the only people in that crowd with a wig on, and it was pretty noticeable because he was in the front. I don't know if Tyler recognized him from meeting him before. Probably not, just because he meets a lot of people. But yeah, so Tyler's like, I wanna meet you through the walkie-talkie. So Johnny's like, what? Like, so he goes. I think he like goes kind of down this like weird route to try and like to get towards Tyler, and like all the girls trying to join in apparently, and like at first they're like, no, just him. And then I don't know if it was Tyler or what happened here, but the girls got in too, and apparently it was the girls, Johnny, his friend, and there was a group of like two or three other people who were also there, who were fans. So overall, there was a group of 10 people, and they all met Tyler and talked to him. I think for a solid like 15 minutes, just like a conversation, not like a quick like picture and blah blah blah. They all got to each individually talk to him. He let them take pictures, which is surprising because usually he doesn't. So yeah, all this happens, and I'm probably 15, 20 minutes away at this point, like on the highway going the other direction, and I don't know any of this is happening. So they all get to meet him, blah 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 blah. I get home. I stop at like Wawa to drop this kid off, this dude I'm with, and I get my food. I get home. I'm eating my like macaroni, and I go on Instagram, and the first thing I see on Instagram stories is a picture of Tyler and Johnny, and I knew it wasn't an old one. I knew it was from tonight, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'd never felt like so like frustrated in my life. So I like Instagram like video chat him, and he's like, yo 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 yeah, like it was crazy. I feel bad for you. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, he basically told me what I just told you about how he ended up meeting him. Um, so yeah, I basically felt pretty crushed after that. Like not only was the concert experience bad, and I lost my ring, I was literally like 10 minutes like away and one wrong move from like meeting the person who's literally like my idol who inspired me to do clothing. He's part of the reason I major in like film at college because like watching his early music videos and everything was like a huge inspiration to me. I like how he like created his own world. Um, yeah, but like a lot of the stuff I'm into, like I kind of learned from Tyler. He was really that like creative, like not mentor because I didn't really know him, but he was just really someone to look up for. And I know it's the same way for a lot of people. Like he really like shaped like how you think about creativity or just doing your own thing. So yeah, and apparently like during this like apparently I was mentioned to Tyler by Johnny's friend. Like he was like, "Yo, our boy like he just left and he lost his ring," and Tyler was like, "Oh, that sucks." So at least I was mentioned in spirit, but not gonna lie, like that night like went so bad for me. Like when I laid down, like I was like I had like like when you're like sad, you're not like bawling, but you just have like a tear running down your cheek. Like or it was probably a few tears, but they were just like running there. I was just like, ugh. Like I just felt like so frustrated and yeah, but for the next probably like 4 days after that happened, I was just like in such a slumped mood because like I was like so upset that I couldn't meet him. Not like to be like a crazy fan or anything. Like I know he's just a person, but I just wanted to like shake his hand, thank him for everything, and I had like some of my own clothing that I wanted to like give him if he wanted it, like a bucket hat or something. Um, but yeah, I was like super like depressed and just in a slump for the next like 4 or 5 days, and then it slowly started to wear off. And now it's like I don't really like stress it anymore because I know I'll get the opportunity to see him again, and it'll be so many times that at least one time, and especially if I go with Johnny, I'm destined to meet him again. Because it's not that hard. The only time it's really like pretty hard is if you're at an arena, like big arenas like the Wells Fargo Center in Philly or like Madison Square Garden. Those are like almost impossible to meet the artist at unless it's a meet and greet, which Tyler does not do. But yeah, I know probably in the future I'll be able to meet him I don't know if it'll be at a concert or whatever, but I'll definitely probably meet him at some point. But it still like comes back every now and again, and it really just makes me sad, thinking that like that opportunity, like fate just like engineered that night to just go against me. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much my experience that day with Tyler. Um, yeah. Also, forgot to mention, check out the Igor tattoo. Had to do it. A lot of people called me stupid for doing it. Well, they didn't call me stupid, but a lot of like older people were like, "Why would you do that?" But for me, it's more. It's not necessarily about the music only. Like I love the music, especially Igor's really been good for me. I really loved Cherry Bomb when it first came out. I was really into it. Now I've kind of gotten a little away from it. Flower Boy was a solid album as well too. But seeing that growth was awesome. But it's more than just the music. It's just like overall like how he thinks and how he's influenced me. So yeah, I wanted to get a tattoo. Like it's kind of cool because this is more like a character thing from the album. So it's not like I'm just getting a tattoo of like someone's face. Like it's just glasses and just the classic like Igor thing. But I have a lot of good memories around Igor, especially with Govball and just Tyler in general. So that's why I got the tattoo. Uh, and if you don't know, like this podcast, I also have a video that I'm gonna throw on YouTube. My YouTube channel, I've been like reviewing golf wang stuff from Tyler, like whether it be the shoes or the clothing, for quite a few years now, and I have a pretty big collection. I've slowed down as of recently. I still get some of the new shoe releases, but not so much the clothing anymore. But yeah, so if you want to check out some of the reviews, they're on there as well. But yeah, that's it. If you like this, listen to some of the other ones. This one's a little more focused, and it's just me. The other ones I have out as of right now, which is like January 4th, I think, are just me talking with some friends, creatives, and music artists. But yeah, I'm hoping to continue this, and thanks for listening, yo. And by the way, I know it's mad annoying how much I say like, but that's just how I talk, unfortunately. So sorry about that.